Y'all, Bentonville, Arkansas is adorable. It's a cute city. I'm in love. I'm smitten.
Jewel's journey. She's known around the globe for her music, but now this multi-platinum artist is turning from the tunes to the canvas at Crystal Bridges.
Every little brushstroke in that painting is my love for that face. Oh, I'll cry.
Plus, a personal portal. Why is Jewel so emotional? We'll tell you how this artist poured her heart and soul into every piece of the process.
And we head into the vault as Jewel brings her works to Bentonville.
A special edition of Downtown Now starts now.
Hello and welcome to beautiful downtown Bentonville for a unique show all about downtown Bentonville. Our show is called Downtown Now. I am Aaron Nolan.
I'm Dana Schlagenhaft, and we're here on the Bentonville Square during First Friday where we're celebrating music.
We love to have great block parties here on the downtown Bentonville Square. Music is essential in that, as is this very special show where we're talking about a singer-songwriter who has been nominated for 4 Grammys. She sold 30 million albums, and Jewel now is at Crystal Bridges as an artist.
Yes. And over the next 30 minutes, we're going to take a look at not only her music, not only her art, but who Jewel is and moments that changed her career.
All right, but first, let's dive into this exhibit. It's called The Portal, and it's really an exhibit you have to experience, but not without the artist falling in love with Bentonville.
People living their lives for you on TV.
It's a career that has stood the test of time, with millions and millions of albums sold and songs streamed.
Got the maple syrup, everything but you.
But while you may know Jewel for her music, she's moving to a new medium.
So we learned the way to pour it in layers and then kind of just
Behind the scenes and in the exclusive Crystal Bridges vault, Jewel's personal projects are unpacked, heading down the elevator to the gallery. As her artwork brings her to Bentonville, Arkansas.
This whole thing has just been a dream come true. There's a couple times in my career where people chose to believe in me. They didn't have to. They gave me a chance.
This is Jewel's first ever art installation. It's called The Portal. This is a look not only at her own canvas and sculpture, but also a high-tech endeavor into the ethos, including a hologram and a 12-minute drone show with new music from, you guessed it, Jewel.
Look up, the portal appears.
Crystal Bridges chose to give me a chance, and I don't take that for granted. I feel so grateful. I know what a gift it is.
Now, the idea of a rookie artist at Crystal Bridges wasn't too far to fathom for Executive Director Rod Bigelow.
Well, it was easy to say yes to Jewel. When you start developing what the project could be and the possibilities around it, that's when the whole team takes over and they start thinking and collaborating and working with her. So to see it come to life was sort of a fantasy come true.
Jewel's journey from music to art is coming full circle in Bentonville.
Why sleep in a cage with a sky this wide?
As for her love for our little town, it's safe to say it's still budding.
Bentonville, Arkansas is adorable. It's a cute city. I'm in love. I'm smitten.
During her time here in Bentonville, Jewel has been here on the square,
Right here.
but she's also been to several different special events around town.
And Aaron, we're talking traditional art, music, drones, holograms. I sat down with Jewel to talk about how she wove all of those together in her first exhibition. That's our downtown conversation. If I could tell the world just one thing, it would be we're all okay. When that song comes on Spotify, sometimes I start it over again, and I start it over again because it's so comforting. Those lyrics make me feel better, and I want to hear it again and again. When I toured Crystal Bridges and this exhibition, I felt the same way, that there was this feeling of just this rolling comfort with each step that I took. Is that what you want people to take away? And did it comfort you in creating this?
It's very touching. I still, I tear up with hands to this day. I needed that song. It was medicine that I needed. And to have that touch the world and be also what the world was needing to hear too is such a sacred thing to be a part of. And it does feel like that for me with this experience that I've been lucky enough to create with Crystal Bridges. My hope is that this experience will help people connect to themselves and connect to each other and know that we can grow and we can change and we can do hard things in a community.
Tell me about the portal and its 3 spheres. There's this concept that you've created and you express it throughout the whole experience.
I've worked hard in 3 areas of my life. One is music, which most people know. The other is visual art, which most people don't know. And the other is behavioral health. I've been doing that for about 25 years now. And so this exhibit really pulls all 3 of those things together. For the first time in my career, while I've been able to pull us all together in one experience. So it's called the portal, the 3 spheres. The idea is that well-being is a side effect of when we're traveling through these 3 spheres of reality in harmony. We each travel through 3 realms of reality every single day, often without knowing it. There's our inner life, which is our emotions and our feelings, our heart's desire. And then there's the seen world, which is our jobs, our families, finances, nature. And then there's the unseen, you know, whatever you define that to be. It can be a spiritual definition. For some people, they just know they get chill bumps when they see the James Webb Telescope images. And so well-being is a side effect of these 3 spheres working well together. So if I know my thoughts and my feelings and I can articulate them to you and you can hear me, that makes me feel a lot better. If my partner knows my desires and my heart's desire, that makes me feel better. If I have spiritual values and I can act on them in the physical world, that makes me feel good. If my job is something I love and it's what I think I'm built to do, that makes me feel good. And then the adverse is true. Conflict is a side effect of these 3 spheres being in conflict. So if nobody knows the real me, if I never say the truth, if I feel like my partner doesn't know me, if I don't get satisfaction from my job, if I have no sense of awe or inspiration around what's in the unseen realm, we suffer. And so the whole experience is designed to help people understand what these 3 realms mean to them personally.
If you had told me in the 90s that I would be sitting in my hometown of Bentonville, Arkansas, in a world-class art museum with Jewel talking about a drone show, you would have blown my mind, but here we are. How did drones and this advanced technology become part of your exhibition?
I really wanted to use 2 classic mediums, oil painting and sculpture, and then 2 new mediums, 2 new technologies. And so one will be a hologram video installation and the other is a drone installation. I feel like our relationship with traditional mediums is long documented. We've all seen paintings most of our lives, we've all seen sculptures. We even know something about the technical aspects of doing those things, even if we're not artists. And so people bring their own stories to those mediums. And so when they see my oil painting or my sculpture, they'll have their own relationship with it because they have their own relationship with those mediums as well. I think with new technology, we don't have any relationship with them. And so it's really like a blank canvas. I created a 10-minute piece of music that takes you on a journey. The idea is that a portal opens in the sky and there's knocking. And we receive a message, and it isn't exactly the message we thought we'd get from the unseen realm. And creating it and using the drones as sculptural shapes in the sky was some of the most fun I've ever had, and some of the most profound emotional connection I think I've been able to achieve in storytelling.
The other aspect that I believe is going to be right behind you here is a sculpture and a painting.
Yeah.
And one of them is of your 12-year-old son. I'm a mother of a 12-year-old son as well. So I am going to see a whole nother story in that. Tell me how those came to be.
I really wanted to have the painting be of my son. Motherhood broke my heart open. It, as every mother knows, it expands your heart in a way that you just didn't know was possible. And it's such a devotion, and it's not something that's overly celebrated in our world. And it takes such an act of devotion. I think as moms, we're so devoted that I wanted this painting to be an act of devotion. I wanted it, every little brushstroke in that painting is my love for that face. Oh, I'll cry. But I just love that little face so much.
Those boys and their moms, they are such a sweet
oh my
joy.
Gosh, yeah. So to spend every day just painting that face and capturing that moment in time, this age in time, was just, it was a gift every day that I worked on it.
So I keep thinking about mine's about to turn 13, and that's the emotion.
Yeah.
Where did time go? So this will be a moment frozen for you forever to have.
Forever. I know.
It's
You'll get me going again. We got to move on.
Well, what do you want people to take away, personally, as they walk from piece to piece here and experience the drone show? Yeah. What do you want them to take with them in their lives?
I hope they see a glimpse into what the three realms mean to me. The painting of my son is the scene realm. The sculpture is a lucite statue of a person meditating full of medication, and it's about the inner realm. How do we relax? How do I relax? How do I have health? How do I not have health? And then the hologram is about the unseen and a message and a poem. And then the drone show is about how I combine them. And so I hope people learn about me. And I hope that by coming in this contemporary exhibit and getting to have this journal where you write down, I ask questions on these video screens, I hope you get to know what these three realms mean to you. It ends with a sentence that changed my life. It's, I sacrifice my attachment to X and I dedicate it to Y. So I sacrifice my attachment to shoplifting and I dedicate it to being present. Something I used when I was young. Now that sentence for me is I sacrifice my attachment to perfectionism and I dedicate it to being present. And so everybody will fill in something that gets in the way of their three spheres working together in harmony, and one thing that helps them come in harmony. And then I developed a meditation that people can have with them every day when they go home to practice if they feel like with that sentence. So I hope they get to know themselves better. I hope they get to have an experience that connects them to their community and people next to them, and realizing that when we change, we make room for new things to grow in our lives.
What a beautiful way to learn a little more about yourself. Jewel, thank you.
Thank you.
What a joy to meet you and get to chat with you.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Coming up after the break, we'll have more on my exclusive interview with Jewel. That's coming up in 3 minutes.
But later in the show, we're going to the sky and we're going to check out Jewel's drones as Downtown Now rolls on.
What was it like hearing Who Will Save Your Soul for the first time on the radio? And what was that personal moment that inspired the song Hands? We have more with Jewel right now in our downtown conversation.
You wrote Hands based on an experience in a dressing room, looking in the mirror and really assessing your life. Can you tell that story?
Yeah, so I had this ambitious goal when I was 15 to not be a statistic. I got myself through high school. I did okay. I had several jobs, I was paying rent. And then all of a sudden my life screeched to a halt when a boss propositioned me. And when I wouldn't sleep with him, he wouldn't give me my paycheck. And so I couldn't pay my rent. And I started living in my car. I had bad kidneys. I was having panic attacks. I was agoraphobic. I couldn't hold down another job because I kept getting sick. And I started shoplifting. And so one day I was in a dressing room. It was mostly food. I had always shoplifted food until one day it escalated to a dress. And I looked in this dressing room mirror and I was shoving this dress down my baggy jeans. And I was like, I am a statistic. I didn't beat the odds. And it was so disappointing. I had such lofty ambitions to not be a statistic. And it was so just shattering to see that I didn't do it. Despite my best efforts, I still was a statistic. How did that happen? And I realized that I would end up in jail or dead if I didn't get a grip on it. And so that really became the inspiration to develop a whole new set of tools for myself, focusing first on stealing, because I knew that was the thing that would end me up in jail and make my life take a turn that I couldn't probably get to recover from easily.
That was step one.
Yeah.
That was a measurable thing. If I don't steal this dress, then I've made progress.
Yeah, but it wasn't that easy, actually.
Yeah.
I stole the dress.
Oh, I didn't read that
yeah,
part. Okay.
I did. I stole that dress, and I went home, and I really was like, but why did I have that realization, and why couldn't I change my behavior? Mm-hmm. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with the amount of shame that you have? How do you deal with how powerless you feel? Why did I do it? Could I even look at why I did it and understand it? It took me 6 months to learn not to steal. It wasn't a matter of willpower, actually. It was a matter of building the awareness to understand the trigger that caused me to want to steal. And so I had to build so much awareness to notice the stimulus that caused me the urge early enough that I could then intervene and use my willpower to not steal. And so learning that it was a process and breaking that down into steps was really critical for me to having that success. But it wasn't instant, sadly.
That's interesting.
And change isn't. And I think that's something we don't understand often, especially with like our more unflattering traits. You know, we all have aspects of our personalities we don't like. And how do we change those? You know, you can't just disassociate from them. So how do you work with them to get them to change?
And our society encourages us to hide them. And it's so fascinating. You put it out there. You're so authentic as a person, but through your music with your fans. Is that your greatest gift? Is that, I mean, you're obviously an amazing musician and artist, but is that authenticity what drives all of that?
I don't, it's been the greatest gift to me. I was really lonely when I was homeless, and I realized I kind of deserved to be because nobody knew me. I never told the truth. And so how could I feel connected to people? And how could I feel connected to myself if I wasn't willing to admit the truth about myself to me? And so I decided to start being honest. I decided to be honest in my writing and then to say it out loud. Like the game going from the inner world to the seen world. And so my first show was me singing about all of it. The stealing, the panic attacks, my hopes, my dreams, the good, the bad. And there was only 2 people in this coffee shop.
They felt all of it.
They felt all of it. And they cried and I cried, and they were like, I didn't know anybody else felt this way. And I was like, I didn't know anybody else did. And that risk was rewarded with people we hugged. I wasn't rejected. And I realized that the only freedom I could find in my own self was the truth. The truth always wins. And it really helped me in my career because I never used my art as propaganda to be more perfect than I was. And so nobody could knock me off of a pedestal that I never put myself on. And that ended up allowing me to grow and change over the years, and even leading to this type of experience where I still have a fan base that is interested in me growing. That's very uncommon.
It is. I'm going to totally pivot because this is more of just a selfish thing to ask you. Apparently the first time you heard your song on the radio, it was between Nirvana and Soundgarden.
Yeah.
Do you remember the songs that bookended it, and what was that moment like for you?
It was a surreal experience. I was driving down the road and my music was very hard to get on the radio, and finally in my local San Diego station they put my song on, and it was between these 2 grunge songs, and I think it was Smells Like Teen Spirit, and I can't remember what the Soundgarden song was. But it was just surreal because I love both those bands and I love the songs. My music is so different, and it was a surreal moment. It was also the first song I ever wrote. It was a song I wrote when I was 16, wondering if nobody else will save me, will I save me?
Who will save your soul?
Yeah. And so to have that be, I get chills, but like to have that be the first song, you know, that questioning, that me trying to be accountable for me was really special.
I mean, man, what about a listener on the radio that hears Kurt Cobain and then shifts to this Who Will Save Your Soul? I mean, that is a complete shift, and the magic of radio, I guess.
It was the magic of alternative radio at the time,
Welcome to the 90s.
And coming up after the break, we have drones, and drones on drones, and drones on drones on drones. We'll be right back.
So the portal culminates with a one-of-a-kind drone show, and Dana, the first time that I saw it, I was awestruck. So what we're going to do is we're going to show the whole thing right now.
Okay, no, we can't do that.
Oh,
they have
Jill
to go to
said no?
Crystal Bridges to see it,
Yes.
but we are going to show you a preview. Take a look.
The secret is, we don't get to choose how life changes, only how it changes us. The secret is, all of our hearts are destined to be broken at some point, but it's what we do with the pieces that make us extraordinary. Make something beautiful of your broken things.
Walk a piece and peace becomes you. Walk a beauty surround.
And that's a wrap. I cannot believe that we spent that much
Yeah.
time with Jewel. She is no doubt as authentic as they come.
I can't believe we got to meet Jewel.
We hung out together with her.
Thank you to Rod, Amanda, Emma, and everyone at Crystal Bridges for being so accommodating and letting us put together this show today.
It's been a special one. We'll see you next week. Same time, same channel. Bye-bye.